So, how did you guys feel about the latest episode of Basketball Wives? If you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being terrible and 7 being very, very good, how would you rate it? Let me know in the chat. Now, let's get into it. So, I want to talk about some of the things that I really caught on to and really wanted to discuss from this episode. One of the things that really caught my attention, right, is Christian's family. Now, you guys know we did a story where I believe it was Christian's aunt or something that was clapping back at Evelyn, telling her to mind her business, talking about her and her daughter being run through allegedly by the game. I know that came up, but I think is quite interesting is the way Christian's family seem to be defending Jen. And I'm just like, you're newlyweds. You guys, as far as we know, you guys have not been dating for that long. For the family to be that invested, to the point where they're practically being like, we'll ride for you, and they're also getting involved in the ex beef and all that kind of stuff. So I think it comes across a little bit extreme to see the family, Christian's family, already being so heavily invested in everything that is going on with Jennifer and Evelyn is very odd to me, to be completely honest. And it just gives the impression, when somebody's paying your bills, and so you feel like you have to be so nice, you have to be a stand for them, like no matter what, it's you practically have to ride for them because that's how your bills are getting paid. Now, I'm not saying Jennifer is paying their bills, but that is what it comes across like. Because I just think about certain situations where somebody is the person who pays for majority of things in the family, right? And what you get is an imbalance where no matter what that person does, nobody says anything. Everybody just rides for them because they know that's the cash cow. That's the way I get my bills paid. That's the way, I make sure I have a roof over my head. And so it kind of feels that way a little bit. It's very much given like that is what it feels like at least they value Jen to the point where they feel like Jen's involvement with Christian is very, very, very important. Because I do not know any family that you just married into and they're out here defending you on Twitter, fighting your battles already. It's like it's so soon. And it's just like it's very, very odd. It's not like I'm not saying it's bad behavior or anything. Like, of course, right for your family. She's now your family. But at the same time, it's just very extreme, in my opinion. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. It's just very extreme, in my opinion. It's just like, why are you guys riding so hard for Jennifer already? Now, I will say, in a way, I'm glad that at least the family seems supportive of her, and because I feel like Jennifer definitely has a long road ahead of her, especially if some of these allegations against Christian are true. Yeah, it's looking like there's a whole long road ahead of them. So I will say, I definitely hope that, it's all lies and stuff and they can live happily ever after. But then I always think like where there's smoke, there is fire. And it does come across as there is a lot of smoke. There is a lot of smoke in this season. So it's not looking good, bruv. So that is one of the things that I really wanted to talk about. The other thing is I feel like Brandi is very two-faced. Now, I loved, well, still do. I love me some Brandi, right? But I have to call it like I see it. she is definitely being two-faced in this scenario, because how is it that you're in front of Evelyn and you're telling Evelyn, like, oh, Jen is getting married on your birthday? I think that's messed up. I'm like, girl, if you're even going to relay the information to her that she's getting married on her birthday, that's fine. But do you have to add the fact that you think that is messed up? Because when you found out initially, did you say that to Jen? Like, oh, Jen, I think you having it on her birthday. You didn't say anything like that. Instead, you went to Evelyn to say that. And when you had to sit down with Jen and Jen called you out, Jen was not having any of it. Jen basically called her out and reminded her about the moments where she did not want to talk about her husband at all. Where the girlies were trying to talk about her husband and she was not having any of it. The girls reminded her of that, or at least Jennifer reminded her of that. And so it's like, girl, you know how it feels to not want to talk about your man, but everybody wants you to talk about your man. So it's like, why are you acting like you can't have some empathy in this season? And I feel like that's probably why she came out and said that her and her husband were separated, because she did not want it to be part of the storyline this season. I think deep down she knows that if she is still with him, at least on paper, or at least if the girls still think they're together, then of course that's going to be part of the conversation. But if it's now that, oh, they're separated, even if, who knows if they're truly separated? Who knows? Right? So I feel like that gives her more leeway to not have to deal with people talking about her and what she's doing, whatever, but also talking about her husband and what her husband is doing. So I feel like, Brandi, you've been in this situation before. You know how it feels to be out here married to somebody who is practically embarrassing you, who people are constantly talking about your marriage, your situation. So, if anything, I would have expected Brandi to stay out of the whole Evelyn and Jennifer drama, girl. You should know better, because you've been on the receiving end of it and you know it doesn't feel good. And I feel like when Evelyn was going in on Brandi, Jennifer stayed out of it. Jennifer was not really pushing and going in on Brandi. She stayed out of it. And this is what I say. I feel like Brandi probably, this is my opinion, I feel like Brandi probably needs the check. And I think Brandi does not want to hear thank you for your services. So I feel like this season, Brandi is doing productions beating. I think Brandi is doing productions beating. She is doing whatever it is that production are like, okay, we need this to happen. Da, 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 da. She's like, sure. This is just my opinion. Because I feel like, why else are you bringing it to Evelyn to say, oh, yeah, she's getting married on your birthday? You know, that is messed up. And then you proceed to then invite Evelyn or decide to organize a birthday trip for Evelyn. It's like you and Evelyn just got cool this season. For a while, you guys had not been cool. So I feel like the fact that all of a sudden you guys are cool, which is like, okay, good. At least you guys are in a cool spot and you guys are in a good space this time around. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I feel like that doesn't change the fact that, like, it is not supposed to be you that is the one organizing the party. And if you're going to do it, then at least give your so-called friend Jen a heads up. Let her know, oh girl, I know it's your wedding, but it's also Evelyn's birthday, and just to let you know, I am planning something for her, you know, blah blah blah. Of course, you don't have to come. I know you guys are not in a good space. That could have been it. Just a heads up. And this is the thing that I feel like, it's almost like nowadays, I don't know if it's like people don't know how to be friends no more, or people just let, you know, issues of the bag take control, or like, excuse me, override anything to do with friendship. Now, someone may be listening and thinking, like, are they even friends? That's a very good question. Because that's the thing with people on these shows. You don't know if they're friends. Because for real, sometimes it's like they act like they're friends, but they ain't really friends. They're just here on the show doing what they have to do for the show. That is it. That is all. That is all they're doing. Right. And so I just feel like that is also something to bear in mind because it may be that they're not legitimately friends, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. But from outside looking in, it looks like Jen, at least you guys had some sort of alliance and you guys were cool. She even had a sit down with you and was like, you don't even have to choose between them, just stay out of it. Brandi should have just stayed out of it. There's no need for you to be in the middle of the mess. It has nothing to do with you. But this is why I feel like she is production's puppet this season because everything screams she is doing their bidding, in my opinion. Because it's like, first, you go to Evelyn to talk about how Jen is doing something on her birthday. Jen is getting married on her birthday, right? Then you tell Evelyn, oh, that's messed up. Okay. Then you decide that, oh, Evelyn, I'm going to throw you a birthday trip during the same period as Jen's wedding. It's like, what are we doing? Guys, please hit that like button as you guys come in. The likes are not matching the number of people in here, so please hit that like button as you guys come in. So it's just like, what are we doing? So you have a birthday trip at the same place, as where the wedding is meant to be for Jen, who Evelyn is not cool with. It's like, what exactly were you thinking would come out of it? Why would you be planning the birthday for the same time as Jen's wedding? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because, for instance, Evelyn would not even have had to come to Vegas. It could have just been Brandi, Jackie, and whoever else was invited, right? But now Evelyn gets to be in Vegas, right? And then everything that then transpires with that, they're all sort of like intermingled, right? So that's why I feel like she's doing productions bidding this season. Interestingly enough, Brandi then invited Jen. This is why I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And that's why I say it is definitely production because it's like Brandi then invited Jen to where the girls were staying at to celebrate Evelyn's birthday. So Evelyn is having a conversation with the girls and stuff, and she's talking about like, you know, feeling how she's feeling. And it's funny because despite her saying how she's feeling, it's not like we saw any scene where she talked to Brandi about it. Instead, what we saw was the other girls talking about Evelyn, talking about why would Brandi bring Jen or invite Jen, blah, blah, blah. And that's a valid concern. It's a valid question. And that's why I say it looks, honestly, looks to me like this is production setup. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. That's why I say that it looks and feels like a production setup. I really believe that. Because how else would it be that first somebody is getting married same weekend as someone's birthday, right? Then the person gets invited to the same city as the person who is getting married. Okay. Then the person who is getting married gets invited to the house of the girlie who she's no longer cool with, and the house, the girlie who she's no longer cool with, is celebrating her birthday. Does that even make sense? Like, it was even a mouthful for me to say it. Not to talk of like how crazy that even sounds. And it's interesting that one of the girls on the show said something I always say, and I really believe that. Like, anyone that is constantly friends with everyone and wanting to please everyone is not a friend to anybody. Because it's like you have no loyalty. Everything is just intertwined. You're just like, you go wherever the wind blows. And I feel like Brandi probably After she got the thank you for your services by Shawnee, I think she's finally learning how to play the game. Because prior to that, if you guys remember, Brandi was very much the queen of I'm loyal, I'm this kind of friend, I'm this kind of person. And I feel like now she has switched. She's like, I'm here to get to the bag. That is all that matters. That is all I'm doing here. At least that's the vibe I get from her this season. That's the vibe I get from her this season. Now, let's shift gears a little bit to Brandi, Brandi and Ming. I feel like Ming is creating drama when there is no drama. I feel like Ming did not like that Brandi said that Ty was cute. And I feel like that's where the whole thing started. Because they put the replay of the makeup thing. And I'm like, girl, is it the same thing we're watching? She basically told you, save your money, girl. Go watch it on TikTok. That is someone that is literally looking after your bag. She's like, ain't no need for you to take no classes. Watch it on TikTok. It's pretty easy. Simple. She was out here trying to help you save your bag. So I don't understand why that is even a thing. You were the one that opened your mouth to say you don't know how to do makeup, and she gave you a suggestion. You take it or leave it. So it's like, what does that now have to do with you sort of feeling like, oh, there's some issue there? And that's why I feel like the whole Brandi and Ming is all about Ty. It's all about Ty. It's like, girl, you clearly, Ming is a toxic person, in my opinion. And I feel like it's almost like you don't want me, you don't want Ty. You don't want Ty fully, or you want Ty, but you also want other people. You want to have the benefits of being with other people, but you also want the benefit of being with Ty. That's what it's given. You don't want anybody to have Ty, but you don't necessarily want to fully have Ty. It's like, I don't know if you guys have heard the statement, if I can't have you, nobody can. That is what is given. But not in like the, oh my God, I'm going to like, you know, unalive anyone that comes around, but it's more like I'm going to make everyone uncomfortable and make it so clear that I am marking my territory. That is what it is given. Because it's like when you were talking to Ty, when Ming was talking to Ty a couple of weeks back or a few episodes back, she was literally talking about like, yeah, let's just be friends, but you want to be in bed naked with her. It's like, what are we doing? What kind of friendship is that? Right? And then you went on holiday with an ex and you were in the same bed with an ex. But you want us to believe that you truly want Ty. So it's given you like the benefits of being with Ty. Yeah, she's cute. But then you also don't want nobody to get the opportunity to be with Ty, to get the benefits of being with Ty. So it's like I need Ty to be there whenever I want her to be there. And if she's out here seeing it for you, that's going to affect things for me. Now, I will say, Ty is a problem. Ty was enjoying this whole thing. There was a point where Ty was literally giggling at when Ming and Brandi were going at it. I just kept looking at Ty. I'm like, girl, is that a smile that I see? Like, why are you what is funny, Ty? It's given like you love when these women are like fighting over you. It makes you feel like special. I think oh, they want me, that's why they're fighting for me or fighting about me. That's what it's given. But I'm just like, girl, what is no? So I feel like Ty is gonna give us a lot of like confessionals I really liked her confessionals. I love the sipping the tea with the side eye. I'm like, okay, girl, at least bring that energy, bring more of that, please. I would like to see more of that even in the scenes. Let's see how that works out. I can understand. I know it felt like Brandi lost it this episode, but at the same time, if everyone is talking about you and this is, especially these people know how the show runs, it's like you have so much energy about me inviting Jennifer when you know that production probably told me to invite her anyway. So I feel like that's why Brandi was on 10 with all of them, because she was just like, please. And you keep involving me, bringing me into it every few seconds. She was tired of the mess. She was just like, please leave me out of it. I'm going to bed. Now, I will say, calling somebody sweetheart or something like that when you're upset, it never goes down well. I'm like, don't call me sweetheart. Don't call me no darling when you're pissed off, because it does not sound sweet. It sounds like you're trying to sun me, or yeah, let me just use sun. It sounds like you're trying to sun me, you're trying to put me in my place. And yeah, that's just not acceptable. So I understand why Shani did not like that at all. I would say it's interesting to see how Christian seems to have like very strong views about Brandi, but I don't blame him because Brandi has been flip-flopping this whole entire season so far, and it's only been how many episodes in. So there's definitely something there that needs to be sort of like discussed, really. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think Jennifer and Brandi will end up on good terms. I think they'll eventually fix it, but I don't think they'll end up on good terms. The more the episodes come out, because Brandi is definitely playing a very, very tricky game, constantly being in the middle of something that has nothing to do with her. That's just something that I would flag. Then for the preview for the next episode, it looks like Jennifer actually pulled up. I'm like, this is my thing. Why would you pull up? And that's why I say it's very much given production, because after everything, you're still going to pull up to the same house, knowing the kind of person Evelyn is, knowing the kind of reception you will get. Yet you still pull up. So, which makes me feel like production probably told her, like, okay, the cast are there, this is a cast event, we expect you to be there, or something like that. Because why else is she going to pull up? It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I honestly don't know how things are going to pan out between Christian and Jennifer. I don't even know, because if they're finally actually legitimizing their relationship and all of the things that have been going on or are being said outside in these streets, if there's any validity to it, Jennifer, I wish you the best. Genuinely wish you the best, because it ain't looking good, bruv. It is not looking good. Now, anyways, hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. What are you doing? Hit it, smash it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And also share with your friend, your sister, everybody, your ex, everybody, honey. Anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.